Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Welcome to the next journey that we will have together. This time, nothing more and nothing less than traveling the Fifth Avenue. Yeah, that's right. Fifth Avenue, the main aorta of New York, the Central Street, Upper West Side, Central Park, bougie wougie, jiji mougie. And that's going to be quite a journey. Something between 10 and 11 kilometers. Um, we will be walking, but we'll be walking quick. And yeah, I don't want to give you any further information. Obviously, it's worth Googling which celebrities have an apartment, a penthouse apartment in the Fifth Avenue, which kind of, Richard Mille and Louis Vuitton shops are located where. But yeah, we are here for the sights, we're here for the views, for the atmosphere, and yeah, to explore this new place. So let's get right into it. I'm starting here at the very southwestern end of the Fifth Avenue at Washington Square Park. And I'm starting with this friendly New York Police Department police officer here at the famous Arches, Columbus, and someone else. I don't think it's Columbus. I know. Oh, COVID-19 testing. Oh, okay, this is from 2021. Okay, then it makes sense. Well, anyhow, here it is. The start of the Fifth Avenue. My bicycle is locked here at the moment. Initially, I wanted to walk, but let's take the bike. It will be quicker. And in New York, you can cycle very smoothly if you kind of enjoy this like maneuvering through the traffic. So let's go. Yeah, here I really just want to take in the scenery. Obviously, this looks like a fairly posh part of town. I really don't know much about New York, but I suppose it can be judged by how clean the sidewalks are, what kind of cars drive around, but I suppose that should be all over Manhattan the same. Hey, my dad has this kind of car. So let's venture on. The thing is also, of course, that we will be coming across many other streets that kind of run in a 90-degree angle to the Fifth Avenue. Many other famous streets, such as um, the 10th Street West. But this is not our concern. Oops, let's stay on the bike lane. Yeah, my bad. Conservative synagogue. I have to say that, like, somehow I feel as if there's a sort of good weather bias from Google towards the main cities in the United States. Um, when we went to Mirny into not into, but nearby the mine the other day, the weather wasn't quite on our side, I would say, and somehow I feel like Google has the possibilities to wait for a sunny day before they do or update their New York Street View imagery, but in other parts of the world, it's not so. easy. They are flying once there and then they're there and then they're doing it and that's about it. Does anyone know the Dutch embassy in Berlin? It kind of has a similar sort of like transparent, I suppose, like staircase or escalator down. But this is the new school, 63rd, 5th Avenue. Yeah, see in New York, when you want to meet your friend here, you say, let's meet 63rd Street, 5th Avenue, or something like this. And this is really only two corners where that could be. I mean, so far I have to say the Fifth Avenue is an interesting, well built up, renovated, well kept street. Well, just talking about it, look at these dudes just kind of hammering and drilling. These wooden, I don't know, planks to walk on. Crazy. So yeah, the street is kind of nice and chill. It's not necessarily, I guess, what many people come from New York. I mean, it's a nice street, safe street to stroll. I mean, safety, I don't know how unsafe it really gets in this part of Manhattan, but yeah. But it's not really anything exciting about it. I mean, obviously, depending on how you look at the world, I always tend to like walk past these kind of houses and think, oh, it would be nice to live there in the corner, perhaps there where this arch is. And this kind of gives me a warm feeling in my belly that I then carry further up down the road. But yeah, some people have a nice home already. Michael's Moving. Champion Combustion. Very catchy names here though, I have to say. Now one thing that would be interesting is to understand how much further we have already progressed. I believe we have quite made a journey. We haven't necessarily stick to the bike lane, but since you cannot really choose your lane on Google Street View, yeah, it's gonna be tough. But I'm sure that traffic rules are somewhat more of a concept rather than a law in this part of New York. Although I don't know. I really don't know. Oh yeah, they are doing the same. I mean, obviously you can start at the northeastern end of Fifth Avenue. I personally prefer to start at Washington Square Park, but many of these people had a different idea this morning, but personally I don't really see a problem with that at the moment. Here I believe we are sooner or later encountering a very famous building. Perhaps it's behind us. Yeah, it is. The Flatiron Building is getting renovated. I can try to deviate a little bit from our original route just to show you what I'm talking about. It's this kind of narrow building. I don't know how the end here is probably 4 meters or something, and somehow it has different owners and they never really got together, and now they did, and now they're renovating it, and it's gonna be apartments and offices in the ground floor or something like that. Here we are getting kind of stuck. Probably we couldn't. We should have gone around. Yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult to really understand what's going on here. There's just I've been in this let's see, how is this called? This is Madison Square Park. I've been in Madison Square Park before on Google Maps, and somehow I only remember that I thought there's just loads of stuff staying about. Look at this stone with these skate stoppers, loads of plants, and kind of interestingly defined or built up, put together public space. Are we still on the right street? I think we are. Oh no, we are not. Well, that should not stop us from going back to the right street. Yeah, sometimes it's that easy in life, you know. You kind of lose yourself in thoughts and like deviate from the path you set out to when you were born, but then you find your way back because perhaps it turns out this path or these life choices that you've made actually meant something. Fun move advertising this e-bike company went bankrupt, I believe. But perhaps that has changed again. I mean, these are from 2022, the imagery, but somehow, of course, in this kind of city, things change all the time. And I think at some point, like if you live here and you work here and you're crossing this corner every day, I don't think at some point it matters if there's a Chipotle, a McDonald's, a Starbucks, or a Walmart Express down there, you know. What does it really matter? As long as you can kind of get some, you know, peppermint chewing gums, should be all good. It's kind of a nice view on this. Is it a Chrysler building, Empire State Building? I don't think so, but I really don't know. No, it's not. Definitely not the Empire State Building. Oh, these are the first trees, kind of, that we have seen since Washington Square Park. Yeah. Look, this kind of plant area. I don't know what it is, but like this building lot. I mean, of this side of the building, it looks like something was torn down, and this is kind of some interim use of the space. Which, of course, in a dense city like New York, I think using every sort of space that pops up, whether because something was demolished, or yeah, something was demolished. I mean, it's pretty built up. There's always the creativity and the necessity and the need and the also the benefits of like using to put up something temporarily. I mean, even this, is a cafe, but it kind of is in the size of a truck or like the size of the van that's kind of next to it, perhaps a bit bigger. And it just works if you have the permission. This is the kind of architecture you need here. This is the kind of small scale you need to think. Oh, ghosts. Scary. He looks a bit like some dude businessman from the 90s with this coat, this t-shirt, and these blue jeans. But either way, let's not lose ourselves in this nonsense. It does look that now, shortly after the Madison Square Park, it has kind of more turned into some business area. But what I now see on the map, and maybe it is worth this time, my apologies, to go back, is the Empire State Building. And I don't know, it should be this one. I can't see anything. Or maybe it was the Empire State Building then. And it's the Chrysler Building with these kind of like round sort of arches. Yeah. Well, anyway, let's leave this new street and go back to our Fifth Avenue adventures. Constantly clicking on something. See, that's another problem. And I'm sure that, like, as a pedestrian walking through New York, you have a similar sort of experience. That my problem here is that I cannot click on the road because there's some stuff everywhere. Either you click on the business or you click on whatever. And when you walk, it's the same. Yeah, you don't want to step into some rubbish. You don't want anyone to ask you for money. You don't want to run against the bin. There's so much stuff about, like, you always think about these like wide, long streets in New York or these high buildings, but like all this stuff that is like put into the street that is like, what is this doing here, you know? But anyway, personally, I kind of like it, but if thinking about it more, sort of like from an urbanist point of view, then I don't know, it can be pretty limiting. I mean, obviously, when you're a cyclist, you know, stuff is put on your bike lane, you're like, what is it doing there? Now I'm stuck again. It's just so difficult. Oh, yeah. Alright. Back on track. I get the feeling that, like, Fifth Avenue operates only against my direction that I'm going, or am I wrong? Perhaps I should have chosen like what's the next one here? 6th Avenue? No. Madison Avenue. Yeah, maybe Madison Avenue goes the other way, or I don't know how New York works really, but if I'm constantly going against the traffic here, what in the hell is this? Constantly getting stuck somehow. I have to put myself back on track. Well, this turned out much more exhausting than I initially imagined, but somehow that's fine. Oh wow, have you seen this? It looks like, looked so, was it here? It looked so black and white. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting distracted too easily. We're not making much progress. Where are we? Certainly not as much as I would have liked to. Let's just move on. Cannot look at every cobblestone here. Can I please go back to the street? Thank you. Thank you. Again, these like, am I going backwards? What was on here? These like metal things, objects. Oh no, not again. Yes, thank you. My god, so many people here. I mean, given how massive each and every one of these buildings is, you know, can you imagine that in one building, if it was like solely an office building, there'd be like 2,000 people working in it. And if they all have lunch at the same time and there's only one chipotle downstairs, chipotle, you know, that's gonna be a lot of rice. This is like, if there'll ever be any American viewers, I'm sorry, but this is like what you call historic. I'm sure it is. I mean, you always have to see things in context. And it is quite beautiful. Looks very new. Well kept, I would say. Alright, let's move on. I'm really enjoying this, you know. I think the last videos were just kind of like non-places that we ventured through. Here's really something happening, and that's really nice. Oh, this I love. Have you seen this? You know, some 80s stuff or something. These like terraces, there's some gold. See, that's what I mean. That's the other thing. Like, you come to New York, or you go on the Fifth Avenue and you think, at some point maybe I'm gonna see the Central Park, I'm gonna see the Chrysler Building, I'm gonna see the Empire State Building and whatnot. But like, going for these things stops you from seeing these things. Well, seeing other nice things. I mean, it doesn't stop you per se, but it kind of like, um, maybe you're not as open to discover beauty in other things because you would be like, yeah, what's famous about it? Like, if it was so famous, then maybe I would know about it anyways. Now you look at this Louis Vuitton store. I mean, at least it's worth a look. It's like some Tetris or Minecraft, I suppose. Tiffany and Co. car stoppers. Here it gets very, very posh, by the way. You can just tell by an instant somehow something there's more. I don't know, it's cleaner. Here's some supermarket. This is now Central Park. I have already deviated from it. I mean, how complicated can it be? Alright. Let's go past Central Park quickly. I'm not interested. Oh my god, it's crowded. But also, like, it can be crowded on one block and you go to the next block and it's completely empty. I don't know if it's just kind of how the traffic lights are managed or if it's just somehow part of the New York experience that, Oh my god. Here's already autumn. How long have we been traveling? It's nice, huh? Isn't it? Kind of really makes you relax. It's the first house where I don't feel like it's gonna fall on my head. Wow, many houses are like this. It's really nice here. Just wanted to check something quickly. Oh, he dropped something, oh man. Cannot help you, mate. At least not at the moment. No, he's gone. Central Park in all its seasons. Wouldn't it be so cool if we like saw one person walking by in like a summer outfit and then we move on? This person wears an autumn outfit and we move to the next picture basically, and this person wears a winter outfit. Let me know in the comments. Famous Guggenheim Museum. Yeah, very nice. Should come back one day. Central Park never really stops surprising me about its size. It's absolutely massive. I run sometimes, so like I go for a jog in my free time, and I'm checking, jogging routes, and I was checking Central Park, and I believe I could make a 10k, 10 kilometer circle in it, just running around its edges. So I think the kind of distance we are covering here is like 5 kilometers along the side of Central Park, or perhaps 4 or something similar. Wow, what a dungeon. There are a couple of these. I believe I've seen this on TikTok or other places. There are a couple of these buildings in New York that are massive, but there's no windows or almost no windows. So, I mean, of course, like, I don't know, factories or perhaps a different housing design, all these things exist, but you kind of maybe don't even pick it up at first glance because everything is just so overwhelmingly nice, I meant to say. Let's go on. Oh, that's it, isn't it? Yep. It's the last tree in Central Park here. No standing anytime. Yeah, of course not. We are already done. Don't worry. Alright. Wow. Believe they used all the marble stones and limestones and whatnot stones on the other side. It's a clear overload of bricks here. Martin Luther King Towers. I don't know if this area is like sort of famous. Maybe it is. It's dormitories or I don't know what it is. Manhattan is massive. In school, 4th grade, something, must have been 10. We were supposed to make a short presentation about a topic of our choice. And I made a presentation about Manhattan. Not about New York, about Manhattan. And so I do know that Manhattan is one of 5 boroughs of New York. Sorry if that sounded in your headphones a bit strange, and that Manhattan is an island. There's a park. What do we do? Do we go around it? Nah. Oops. There was a park. This is really nice. Kind of feels like we went to Brooklyn. But I actually don't know how Brooklyn even looks. Hey, get lost, find New York. Get lost, find New York. Get lost, find New York. Find New York, Oh my god. I mean, it's still fairly beautiful here, but somehow, yeah, of course, a different kind of vibe, a different kind of community. I know instinctively I would think that living here is still gonna be expensive. Well, expensive for some or for most, I don't know. Wow, so many bricks. So must have been a brick factory nearby to use this old joke. But we are still on 5th Avenue, you know. It's kind of now that in this part of the 5th Avenue, you know that, when you cross the street here, let's say, when you're at this crossing here, you know that perhaps like 5 kilometers where we just came from, someone really famous is also just crossing the street. So that's the kind of magic of long streets, that kind of connects people and places and houses and, yeah, more metaphysically atmospheres and vibes. Somehow and somewhat unknowingly, so I don't know who is crossing the street somewhere there, but I know that if I follow this street, I'm gonna get to this and this place. Like there's some certainty about it. And oh my god, I can't believe it. This might be it. Another NYPD. It's almost like we had some police entourage, and this is the same car now picking us up again. But here, unbelievably silent, with a very silent puff. The 5th Avenue ends just here in this tiny street corner and gets to West 143rd Street. Isn't that unbelievable? Remember where we started? The Washington Square Park arch. And here, this is the end. Just here. I'm a little bit shocked somehow, but it's also the beauty of it. Like, I mean, I like it, but it's just kind of also not about liking it. It's more like I'm just surprised, let's say. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed what you have seen. I hope you enjoyed the trip, and see you when I see you. Hopefully with something just as interesting. Bye bye.